Hello, everybody. This is Roxanne, and welcome to my channel, Alchemy of Acrimony. Thank you for joining me whenever you catch this reading. So, I got up today. I feel very refreshed. I feel good. I feel happy and rejuvenated. I do feel like I have a little bit more energy. Excuse the wires in the back. I have everything charging, my cell phone, my computer. So, yep, I got my coffee. I know it's a little late in the day, but I am not an early bird whatsoever. So, yeah. I got up, got dressed, and I couldn't wait to hop onto the live here today to share with you guys. I'm going to do pick a pile, 3-card pick a pile / oracle read, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I just kind of just threw a title there on the live description just to see just to kind of get everything moving because I wanted to hurry up and jump on here. But yeah, so I have my beauty in the back, my Empress, and so that's my depiction of her. That's my neon painting. So yeah, she's ready to go, ready for the world to see. Yeah, so I have her back there. Hold on 1 second. I have to check something because someone's calling. Okay, so I'm gonna have to give them a call back. Yeah, so I just wanted to hop on today, and I know I've been MIA for a few days, but that's only because, like I said, I was spending me, myself, and I time doing things I had to do, and I visited with my grandchild, one of my grandchildren, and that was absolutely great. I got to see my daughter, my granddaughter, and so I definitely made time for them. It was actually a really big blessing to get to see them and spend time with my granddaughter. I was laughing because I had this dress that I bought for her, a Beauty and the Beast princess dress, and I've had it tucked away with like all their stuff and their extra little things. Like when they come over, sometimes I find them books or toys, and I pull it out for them so they could play. And I had her little dress tucked away, and I remembered it, and I put it on her. And when I used to put it on her back when I first got it, it was extremely huge. It was drowning her out. She would step all over it. It was so big. And when I put it on her the other day, she literally fit in that gown so perfectly, and she was so excited. And I thought that was just absolutely, that was heartwarming for me. I was like, oh my gosh, they're getting so big, so fast. And it's crazy. Time goes by way too fast. And that's kind of scary. So yeah, oof, that's strong. All right, so 3-card, pick a pile. We're gonna do this. Yeah. So I'm rocking the Aaliyah shirt today. I absolutely adore her. Rest in peace. She was a queen of in her time and in her music, and I watched the movies and listened to all the music and the songs, and yeah, she was a great, huge inspiration for me. So beautiful, gone way too long before her time, but yeah, so I still pay tribute to her and listen to all her songs. And if I find a cute shirt like this one, of course I'm gonna buy it and wear it. This is absolutely beautiful. So okay, I have all of my cards spread out here. I have all of my things going on, so I hope you can see everything as well as I can through the cam. I'm looking at it, and I don't know, it seems like you can see everything, so I think we're good to go. I checked the mic, the camera, everything seemed fine, so I'm really hoping that it's the same way for you guys. Like I said, my tarot, I read everything upright. I don't do any reversals unless I'm really called to. That's just the way I personally prefer to read my tarot. Okay, so we're gonna do a 3-card pick a pile with the tarot, and we're gonna do it with the probably do the Midnight Oracle. Okay, so my Midnight Oracle, I've already used it on one of my videos before. It's right here. This is the one that I absolutely love for all the artwork on that. That's good. Cool. Pretty fun to look at. Pretty cool. A lot of deep meanings on these ones. Ooh, okay. So it gave these two uprights. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3 on that. And then we are going to, whoa, already wants to talk. Okay. So we're going to do these, so the tarot is upside down, but the oracle is right side up. Okay, so 3 wanted to come out, so we're not going to do that. We just need 1. I just need 1 oracle, please. So we're going to do 1 tarot, 1 oracle. Okay. That wanted to come out in the reverse. These are reversals. This oracle deck in the guidebook, it does give the upright and the reversal meaning, so we can rock with that. And then one more. One more, please. 1 more. I feel led to do this one. Okay, so, all right. Oof, I love this card at the very bottom of this deck. Actually, later on for the whole collective, I'm going to take what's at the bottom of the pile in my tarot and what's at the bottom of the pile in my oracle. I'm going to leave them upright over here. I can see them, and it's actually, that's pretty crazy. That's going to be fun to read for you guys, and that's going to be for everybody. So it doesn't matter what pile you pick. That's just going to be a read for the whole collective in general. Okay, so here is my book to read what these are trying to tell me. All right, pick a pile 1, 2, 3, and you can also go, not just go by number if you want, which is pretty cool. It's pretty fun, but you can also do like a number generator on your app, your Google or whatever search engine you use, and it picks a number for you. So sometimes I like to do that, to let it generate a number if I feel led to do so, if I really absolutely can't pick one. Or if not, we can visually lead you to your pile by showing you what the oracle is. So in pile 1, I'm not going to show you what the tarot card is, but in pile 1, because that's going to be a surprise when we, turn that around. So pile 1, we got 29, the Abyssal Whisper. That is awesome. Okay, so the Abyssal Whisper. Number 29. I have ran into this card. I just forgot the meaning. So it's going to be interesting, though, to see what the tarot card is that's paired with this card. Okay, so each and every pile is probably going to be pretty interesting. So pile 1, the Abyssal Whisper in the upright. Pile 2, we have card number 32, the Abyssal Dream. Abyssal. That word wants to keep popping out, huh? But this one is in the reverse. Okay, this is what she looks like in the upright. Beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Number 32, the Abyssal Dream. But she came out in the reverse, okay? So we're going to take that the way she flipped out, because I do have reversals for the book. All right, and then we're going to go with pile 3. Absolutely gorgeous. This is something that I would get tattooed on me. 35, and it's the Guardian Flame. That's amazing. I love dragons. I love dragons so much that I personally believe at some point in time there were dragons. And I know that probably sounds crazy to a lot of you, but you know what? At some point in time, I believe these creatures roamed the planet. So they flew in our skies at some point. All right, so that's pile number 335, the Guardian Flame. And this came out in the upright, okay? So this is for pile 3. So go ahead and pick your pile 1, 2, 3, whatever you feel called to after seeing the cards. If it's just a number and you can't pick, generate a number, or however you see fit. And these are no right or wrong, like I said before. There are no right or wrong, and if you feel led to pick more than one, you can. If you want to pick all three, you can go ahead and do that. So let's jump right into this read. Okay, so for the Abyssal Whisper, we have tarot card. Ooh, Page of Cups. That goes with the Abyssal Whisper. Okay, so we're going to go through these one by one because yeah, we're going to have to dig into what the meaning is on the oracle. So the Abyssal Whisper number 29 paired along with the Page of Cups. Let's see, let's jump over to 29 in the book. Okay, upright. Okay, because it did come out in the upright. Okay, so deep fears, subconscious stirrings, and the call of the unknown. This card signifies the pull towards uncharted territories of the mind or emotions, urging you to confront what lurks beneath. So it's kind of talking about facing your fears, digging into your mind, the unknown, the stuff that you're not familiar with, right? And the pull that it can bring to you towards the uncharted territory of the things that you don't mind in the mind, the emotions, urging you to confront what lurks beneath. That could also talk too about what popped into my brain real quick was shadow work. And in a recent video, I did talk about shadow work, its meaning. And so this is also could be pointing to that, what's in the mind, the emotions, what's beneath that maybe we're hiding or we're not confronting. When we dig down deep, what are those thoughts? What are those emotions? What's our mind? What's our subconscious? What's in there? Because there's a lot of things that are locked away there in the back of our minds, right? That hasn't been pulled forward yet. There's a lot of things that can get stored away in there, and it just because we don't deal with it or see it necessarily doesn't mean it's not there. Okay, and that could include, like I said, doing some type of shadow work. Okay, if you guys are called or led or felt that you need to go within yourselves, if there's something that you're suppressing or something that you want to delve deeper into, as far as pulling things to the surface that you feel maybe are issues that are there, and you're ready to confront them or face them. And it could be an array of so many things. The list is never ending. It all depends on you. And this whole channel is about divorce, right? Your journey through it. So wherever you're at on that timeline, it could be where you've already gotten divorced and it's already been going on a year, 2 years, 3 years, or you've been split for a year and you're going through the process of a divorce, in and out of court. Divorce looks different for everybody, and your journey through it looks different for everybody. So wherever you're at on your timeline, just take this how it may resonate for you. I know when it comes to shadow work or diving deep into our emotions and the things that we're feeling inside, a lot of times we're not really ready to confront or face what's happening with us. And a lot of times things don't get pulled to the surface till later on, whether it gets pointed out by somebody else, or it could be a repeated pattern that we're constantly doing. The subconscious it's like it's in there, and we're constantly repeating patterns, old patterns, negative patterns, or attracting the same thing to us over and over, and we're not understanding why or where that's coming from. And that pattern can be toxic, or it can give us a bad or difficult or frustrating outcome because we're not understanding why this is happening to us. Why are these same patterns? Why do they keep popping up? And it could be, that's a way of, uh the universe, God, whoever your higher self, whoever you call to, it's saying, it's somebody trying to, something, someone, angels, spirits, ancestors, guides, however you could take that, however it resonates for you, something higher calling us into a different direction. Because if not, it's going to keep steering you into the similar patterns, right? And it's going to keep frustrating us. So in conjunction with that card, the Abyssal Whisper, right? Okay, it's almost too like a faint whisper in the back of your mind. Maybe that's why they called the card the Abyssal Whisper. Abyssal is like with the sea creature, right? Sea creatures, like, those are the things that probably you're going to find at the very depths of the bottom of the ocean, straight into the abyss. And the abyss is far and wide and deep. And I mean, it's the blackest of black you could probably find. It's blacker than our night here in the universe, right? Because we have the moon to illuminate and bring some light, but in the abyss, there is no light. So, what's lurking deep down in your soul, in your spirit, things that are trying to come out to get your attention in one way, shape, or form, right? And so we got the Page of Cups here. Now, when I pull pages, it's always for me, well, for me, not always, but it could mean when I look at the card initially, I see uh, someone that's more youthful, right? And so the card depicts, it could depict different things, but I read my tarot according to like a lot of what the picture is trying to relate to me. Okay. So I don't know why, but I just, that's the way I read sometimes. And I don't initially take what it actually means because I know the tarot has meaning itself, right? But I'm always looking at my tarot different. Okay. I feel drawn, guided, led to read it in the different aspects of the way I'm seeing it. And what I think is pretty funny is there's fish here, there's sea life here in both of these cards. You got the Page of Cups holding out the cup with the fish popping out of it, right? And you got the ocean, that abyss we're talking about, right? Now, when we're talking about the abyss and the top of the ocean, there's two different points of view that we're looking at this from, right? We're talking from the depths and we're talking up at the top on the shore with the top of the ocean. The blue sky is right behind, right? The blue, it's clear. Blue can signify clarity. It can signify also using your intuition. Okay. And so if you notice, the page right here is confronting what's in the cup. Okay. And what I want to say, what I feel led and called to say is sometimes what we're feeling deep inside can look like this monster down in the abyss and it could give us problems, right? It can pull out the worst in us if we stay in this and we don't pull this to the surface and find out what this truly is. And sometimes a lot of fear from the unknown, fear of what if I do bring this forward? What if I do talk about this? What if I do start trying to understand my toxic patterns or things that, bring to light things that are deep down in the depths of the ocean and the abyss, the black, where I want to keep it, right? But what if I bring it to the surface and bring it to the light? You can find out that it's not as big as you thought it was. And at some point facing it, you're going to see that that little tiny fish is what you're going to bring to the surface. And you're going to be able to confront it and look at it in a different light, in a different aspect. You're going to have a different point of view. And the more that you deal with it, the smaller this sea creature is going to get, right? The smaller the fear is going to go down in you, the lesson, it's going to lessen in your spirit and in your soul. You're not going to be so afraid to confront it once you pull it up to the surface. Okay. Fear is, okay. So, I don't know if any of you guys heard this, but I've heard this at some point in time, right? In my journey through life, that fear is just another meaning for false evidence appearing real. Okay. And when you initially hear that, you think that's a pretty cool, abbreviation for the word fear, false evidence appearing real, right? But the more that you go through life and the more you deal with the toxic things, the negative things, you go through toxic and negative issues in your life, the more fear does become more prominent in your life. Okay. And it could be fear from wanting to face or confront the things of your past that you thought were already done and over, or maybe they're still there and you're carrying them with you, and you're asking questions later in life, and the further you go into life, the more you're realizing, like, am I carrying this around with me, this fear? Am I making it more real than what it has to be? Like, because it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be to the point where It's so overwhelming, you're letting it rule your life. There are some toxicities that can rule people's lives, right? When it comes down to the emotions and the feelings that we're feeling, there are some things that can absolutely take over our mind, our body, our spirit, okay? And so what we're saying here is and coming back to because I don't think I finished what I was saying, because I have a lot of downloads going on in my brain right now, so I'm trying to push it out as fast as it comes. So getting back to thank you, I'm reminded again, the youthness. Okay, so this could be for some of you maybe something that you're carrying with you since childhood. It could be a form of, maybe you need to do to any type of shadow work you do, can be something coming from not so past, kind of present, or it could be something that comes from way back when in the past, and it's childhood issues. Okay, and we can, those childhood issues can sometimes leak into our relationships, our marriages, our any type of relationship that we have with people. Sometimes we can carry past trauma with us, right, into newer relationships. Considering it's a youthful person, it could be something from childhood, okay, that you're carrying around, and maybe something you've carried into your marriage, whether you have or the other person or both of you, because it doesn't just carrying baggage and excess stuff from childhood doesn't just stem from one person. I'm going to say the majority of the percentage of people out there carry baggage from past trauma and childhood. A big percentage of us do that, and it comes from both angles. I know personally, both of us carried past trauma from our childhood into our relationship and our marriage. Mine's came out in a very significant, crazy way. And so that was really rough and hard to bring these abyssal feelings and the abyssal past trauma from childhood or pain. It's hard to bring the big fearful Cree monster to the surface, sea creature monster to the surface, right? It's scary to do that, because it's time to confront it. Okay, because if we don't, then we keep bringing, or old patterns or toxic things or people that we're attracting, they're going to keep coming back around, and it's going to be a perpetual circle of craziness in your life if you don't deal with the abyss part of what's going on with yourself. Okay, and so that is card number one. Okay, so I hope that really helps somebody and could give somebody some insight if you did pick one. Okay, so we're moving on to two. This one came in reverse. Okay, so that's the abyssal dream. And yet again, abyssal, the word abyssal, the dark, the deep, right? But this is talking about dreams, the abyssal dream, but it's in the reverse. Okay, so number 32, and then we're going to go ahead and flip. Okay, we got a lot of emotions here. Okay, and so when we're going to take it back to the first one really quick, okay, before we move on to two, this is from pile one. Now, cups does signify emotions, okay? In the tarot, it's a lot of emotional baggage, emotional things, emotions. It could be tied to a lot of us, and we're going through a lot of different emotions, whether they're good, bad, ugly, indifferent things, emotions we don't want to face. You know, it doesn't have to be. I mean, this is just, there's so many emotions that could be tied with whatever this is for you, okay? The abyssal whisper, whatever that deep darkness is for you, there could be a lot of emotions that are tied behind that. Okay, so fast forward, pile number two. So we're pulling out another cup, okay? So we're jumping from the page to the knight, okay? The page to the knight. And so here comes the Knight of Cups, right? With this page. With this page. Who knows? Maybe I'm saying that because it's you're confronting the past and you're carrying it with you into the present. I don't know. Somebody picked all three piles, or someone picked pile one too. This could link up with whatever one is saying. It could tie it into two. Okay. However, it's a step up. Okay, so we're gonna look at the abyssal dream in the reverse and see what that means, okay? That is card number 32. Let's jump over to 32, which is right around the corner here. 32, 32, 32. Upright, reverse. Okay, so it came out in the reverse, all right? Illusions, escapism. Okay, I was just talking about this in a prior video. And being trapped in fantasy. It cautions against losing yourself in a world of unreality or ignoring pressing issues in favor of comfort. Okay. I was just talking about this um when I don't even remember because I've made like at least 7 videos. Maybe this one is going on 8. But somewhere along the lines in there, I did talk about ignoring our emotions, our feelings, and not giving ourselves the chance or the opportunity to feel what we're feeling. And so we're drowning them out with noise of the world. What does that mean? It can mean anywhere from, constantly listening to music, so you don't have to hear your brain talk to you and tell you the things that are going on. You want to just drown it out through song, watch, binge watch TV shows, have your, just watching movies and drowning it out through that. Um, Escapism, alcohol. For me, alcohol was a huge, huge factor in my escapism. That was escapism 101, grabbing a bottle of alcohol and escaping through that. Okay. So, and that could be anyone's. You could take that how it resonates. I'm not saying you're doing that or you're gonna do that, but for some people, drugs, alcohol, that's a form of escapism, okay? Because these are mind altering things, so you're pulling your mind and numbing it and for the time being and suppressing it so you don't have to feel whatever it is that you're going through. And so in this case, if you're here and you're watching me for because you're going through a divorce or split, and I don't know why I feel led to say maybe some of you found me through because maybe you've had a long time relationship, okay? And you're going through a split with your other person. Maybe you weren't technically married, but you're going through a split with somebody you've been with for a really long time, okay? I was married for 17 years. And so for me, whether I was married on paper to that person, it doesn't matter. Being with somebody and sharing your life with somebody for that amount of time that's a really long time. Okay. Because I was already in my 40s uh, when the split happened. So that's already that's halfway. If let's just say I lived to be 80, that's already halfway through my life, and spending the majority of my adulthood with this person, right? So that's a lot. That's a lot for somebody to have to process. And it doesn't mean you need a piece of paper from the court of California or the state of wherever you're at to validate those feelings for you when you're with somebody for so long. It doesn't matter. I've known people that have never gotten married legally, but it doesn't mean that the relationship wasn't happening and it wasn't real and the feelings you're feeling are not real because you weren't married, right, on paper. So that doesn't matter. There's a lot of relationships out there that you've been with your significant other for a really long time. So maybe, I need to branch out and speak to those people as well. A long-term relationship in general, okay, can be very hard for any of us in that situation. So in the reverse, like I said, it's escapism, illusion, trapped in fantasy, losing yourself. And so you can lose yourself in a lot of different ways in the world. It could be through this YouTube, where or online gaming, if you're a gamer, or you start picking that up because you see like, oh, just get my brain away from what I'm feeling, or just watching nonstop, just going through whatever, TikTok, any type of social media, Facebook, whatever, whatever, social media in general, internet in general, right? Escapism could be a lot of different things for us. So kind of pinpoint and look at where you're at, and ask yourself that question. What is my escapism? What am I not wanting to deal with? What am I not ready to pull to the surface and look at? What is my fantasy world? What am I indulging my time and myself in and getting away from? But what am I trying to pull myself away from that I don't want to face or feel? Okay. So that could be a good question just to ask yourself because it looks different for everybody. And so the Knight of Cups is pretty much it's signifying still in your emotions, right? So he's graduated from the page to the knight. Okay. And so for some of you, this could look like this person is the knight is on a horse, right? And they're about to trudge through the water. I like to look at the card as he's about to trudge through the water, get the horse through the water. But the first thing I see in my mind is he's about to make that significant. I'm going to force my horse to go over the river, right? Or the running water. And usually when we see that, right, in movies, I don't know why, but it's playing like a movie in my mind right now. So the download that I'm getting is making a horse, pushing it through, right? Forcing it to say, well, I'm going to get through to the other side no matter what. But he doesn't know how deep that water is and how deep it goes. He's assuming it's surface level, maybe knee high to the horse at best, but I can make my horse get through it. I'm going to push past the emotion that's underneath me, that's flowing fast. And I see that river flowing super fast, but he's going to go for it anyway. But I don't see him making it to the other side. Okay. And so it's that stubbornness. He's living in a fantasy land himself of thinking that, this river could be really deep, but he's not really taking that in consideration because he's too busy in his mind just wanting to run away from what's going on in general. So he's going to take his horse and go. And he's going to face the crazy stuff and not deal with it and try to push past it. Okay, he's ignoring the fact that there's a lot of depth here in that river if he tries to cross. He's ignoring the fact that he could drown his horse and lose his horse, right? By making that one bad decision just because he's refusing, he's ignoring, right? And he's probably been told by a lot of people, you can't cross that way. It's too deep. Okay, so that's the way that I'm reading this. His fantasy, he's living in an illusion where his horse is not going to grow wings, right? If it starts to drown and fly away, he's going to get taken by the current and possibly drown, okay? If it's that deep. And little does he realize it's abyssal water up ahead. It may not look like an ocean, but there are some that are that deep enough to like just take you in, right? And so seeing this, it's still at the end of the day, what it's all talking about is emotions, okay? And the card underneath it, the underlining is talking about dealing with those emotions and not living in the fantasy land all the time. You got to be logical, okay, when it comes to some things. Like if you're looking and you're facing and you're dealing with the difficult aspect of things in your life and you're seeing it every day show up for you, you cannot say that it's not there if you know that it is. You can't ignore it because that only can go on for so long. You have to confront it and face it at some point in time. Patching it up with fantasy, putting a band-aid on it with things from the world, social media, even partying. The word partying popped up in my head right now. If you are, having a hard time in your life or you're going through that divorce and a lot of, I'm not saying everybody, but there are some people that get this thing in their mind where they feel less of themselves, like rejected, especially if there was infidelity. Like for me, I lost my self-confidence and I lost my self-esteem. I felt I wasn't worthy. I felt like I was the ugliest person on the planet and no one would ever want me. And he doesn't want me. And, does she look better? Is that what it was? Is she prettier? Is she oh, it's because she was younger, because I did find out that this person was younger by me, by my years to her years, she was a lot younger. And the first thing that flowed through my mind was, okay, so trading me in for somebody younger, more youthful, and I started to look at my body, and I had a lot of, you know my image, I felt uncomfortable in my skin, and I didn't feel great, but then that led me to a point where my brain, instead of processing more of these emotions and allowing myself to feel this stuff and what I was going through, that at that certain time, I had got really depressed. From other things that were going on prior, so my mindset was already really bad. And then I ended up losing a lot of weight, but not in a healthy way. I stopped eating. I didn't get an appetite. I was like, ugh. I didn't, I was force feeding myself. I didn't really want to. There was one specific thing that I ate all the time, and I don't know why, but I was craving chickpeas. If I did crave food, it was chickpeas. I don't know why. I just wanted to eat chickpeas all the time. So I would bust open a can and eat half of it, and then that was my breakfast, lunch, dinner. And I was doing that all the time to the point where it became a habit. Like, well, I really don't want to eat anything else. Like, I'm just not in the mood, and I don't know, and it's bland and there's no flavor to it. And ask me why. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe my body was lacking some type of vitamin. I don't know. I was told that at some point in time down the line, but it doesn't matter. Either way, I was unhealthy. And so, my body changed. And then I got this fantasy idea in my mind that, well, maybe if I, because I change a certain way with my looks, maybe, I can look better or be better, and then I started doing stupid shit. I started making bad decisions, and then it turned into an anger where I was like, you know what? F that. Fuck that. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go have fun. I'm going to go do all the things that I didn't do when I was married, because I always, devoted everything I had to him. So I'm going to fucking go out. I'm going to go do this. So the partying, that's what I downloaded. This is why I'm telling you this, because I started to do that. I started to make actually very scary decisions, very where it could have been life altering for myself and detrimental to myself and my kids, when I was making those decisions, because deciding to go out and go sit at a bar, or go, take myself to this place, and a lot of times this was by myself, and that could be not a good idea if you're doing it in a bad mindset, and you're not facing reality, and then your brain goes to this fantasy land of, I'm just going to party, and I'm gonna post that I'm gonna party, and I'm gonna, hope that he sees it, and I'm gonna do this and that. But then, they're really stupid decisions at the end, especially if you're putting yourself in harm's way of, like, something that could potentially, it could have been a bad outcome. Those nights could have led to something bad happening. So, you know, that was, not facing my reality and digging myself into a party fantasy land. And for some of you, like, partying in general, that was also my escapism. Like this is talking about, what is it? What was your vice? And so some of that was my vice mixed in with the alcohol, going out there to party, you know? That was my la la land for a while, and well, I look this way now, and maybe someone out there will like me a little more, or maybe I can, and that was just pure toxicity thinking in my brain. My brain was just pure toxic. None of those ideas, none of those outcomes were great. None of those ideas were good. None of those things benefited me at all. It's just bad decisions because you're in a bad space. And if anybody's doing those things right now, I'm not judging you and I'm not putting you down for it. I'm relaying with you uh the fact that I've went through those things myself. I've been there, done that. I understand those feelings, and I completely understand you. I'm not judging you. I'm just giving you some type of encouragement that there is a way around these things that you can navigate your brain through to kind of help yourself get out of, the bad decisions, because, you want to put yourself in a safe space and in a safe place all the time, right? But we're not thinking about safe, and we're not thinking about the places we're putting ourselves in. It's just we don't care, at the time. So we're not making healthy decisions. We're suppressing everything. Our abyss is our reality. We live in the abyss, right? We're living in the darkness. We're living with the deep sea creatures, the ugly, the things that we've never seen before, maybe dealt with before. Everything is new. We've never felt this. We don't understand it, right? And that's another thing. There's a lot of things down there that we find all the time that, oh, I never knew this. We never knew this existed. This is a whole different species, different creature. That's the same thing with people. When we're diving into that unknown, into that abyss, we can pull up a lot of things that we never went through before. This is new for us. Things that, oh shit, I didn't even know this was possible. That was possible. I didn't even know I could start to think or feel like that. You can become a completely different person just through the trauma that you go through. Okay. And so we just got to ask ourselves in the process, which way are we allowing this stuff to navigate our lives? Are we letting it completely take over? Okay. And so that's pile number 2. Moving on to pile number 3. Ooh, that's a major arcana, the high priestess. Okay. Major arcana, high priestess. Okay, that's card number 2. I don't know why I seen the number 2 very prominent right now when I looked at the card. So 2 could be significant for somebody. It could be your birthday, the person you're thinking about, their birthday. It could be 2 as in maybe the day they left. It could be a divorce date, something that finalized. 2 is just going to be significant here for whatever reason. I don't know why. Only you can place that where you see fit. 2. That's a number that's significant for somebody out there, the number 2. Okay, so we got 35, the guardian flame. That's the beautiful dragon. Okay, and this one came out upright. Going to the book, back to the book. 35, guardian flame upright. Okay, power, protection, and transformation. This card symbolizes a forceful guardian presence, guiding and defending against darkness. It represents a burning passion that drives purpose and enlightenment. Now, the things that I'm not reading are reflection, and I keep my eyes keep seeing it, and I want to tell myself, okay, go down to the bottom and read that part. And for some reason, it keeps getting pushed out of my mind. But right now, I want to read you the reflection, and I want to make sure I read it. So that, I don't know, but however things flow for me, I just take it because that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. So reflection. What passions fuel your actions? Are they aligned with your purpose, or are they burning uncontrolled? Okay. And this can go back in reference to those 2 other cards. Not dealing with the abyss. Okay. Living in the fantasy, and then causing things to burn out of control, where all these things are starting to overtake you, and it's getting out of control, that it's uncontrolled. You're not being able to control yourself, your decisions. It's almost like your pain is controlling you in your life through your journey, however that may be. Take it how it resonates for you. But this is also saying, okay, what passions fuel your actions? Okay, because there can be good passions and there can be bad passions, but this is kind of guiding you into out of the abyss and into the light, telling you that you have a guardian. Okay, there's a guardian presence, a guiding, and that is guiding you and defending you against darkness. This can be a long lost loved one, ancestor. It could be your angels. It could be the Most High, God, however you see, whoever you call to, whoever you've always felt was there. Okay, I don't know, but I got, if some of you have been talking to passed on loved ones through prayer, or just, you know, when you're sitting there and you cry out to them. I don't know why, but I want to say that as well. If you've been felt the need to talk to somebody that's passed on, okay? But there's a guardian here that's around you and that's trying to guide you, okay? It's power, protection, and transformation. It symbolizes a forceful guardian presence guiding and defending against darkness. It represents a burning passion that drives purpose and enlightenment. So however this looks for you, it wants to protect you at the same time and give you a different type of enlightenment and purpose into your life, in order to steer you in a different direction and guide you out of that darkness and steer you more into your purpose. So for wherever you are at in your journey, it's never too late to be led toward your purpose, okay? I know for some of you, it could feel like, oh, it just takes longer than others. Sometimes you look at people and think, how do they find their purpose? How do they find it so fast? I know that was a big thing with me for a really long time. I always felt like everyone else around me was doing so much more, and doing their calling and finding their purpose, and why can't literally feel like I've been looking for it for so many years, and it's not until recently in my journey that I finally figured out, okay, this is what I think I'm guided and led to do, you know. And so I'm being led and guided down that path of enlightenment right now. Okay, I'm being guided down that path. And I really do feel that a lot through my journey. God has always been there. I was mad at him. I did a video on that, how I had a lot of screaming matches with him in private. I've been very angry and upset. I do feel my angels. I feel my guardians. I feel my ancestors. I feel spirit guides. I feel guided, so much so that I really feel like they ignited a burning passion in me about this project that I'm doing now, which is starting this channel and sharing my life with all of you, because I really do feel like, you know, maybe there has to be a greater purpose behind your pain, right? And bringing myself through all of that with the help of the things seen and the things unseen, it's led me here. And I really feel passionate. You know, I'm getting to the point too where, you know, this whole project for me has been in my mindset for well over a year. And I've always played and teased and tossed the idea, right? But I always felt with my self-confidence not good enough, not worthy enough, not relatable enough, not who's going to want to see that, watch that, whatever the case. I had way too many questions and fearful ones. I let the fear overtake my mind, and it's not even real, right? False 7 is appearing real, but it's not real. It's false. See, but I let that steer and drive my decisions for a while because of the lack of confidence. And, you know, I let it drive decisions that I was making, and I let it do it for far too long because I kind of wish that I would have did this sooner. But we're here now, and timing is divine timing in all its form, right? So I feel like whatever the case may be, doesn't matter. I'm here now, and I actually look forward to coming on here. I look forward to sharing. I look forward to trying to help, see if I hopefully help somebody else. You know, it gives me a newfound enlightenment, purpose, passion. It gives me it does ignite a burning, controllable fire. This is talking about what's uncontrollable, right? Passions fuel your actions. And that could be in both aspects of your life, good or bad. So you have to ask yourself, what bad passions are uncontrollable, that are leading me to do certain things that maybe are not guided and led for my ultimate enlightenment, my ultimate higher self. And then what are the good ones that are burning uncontrolled in me, that my higher purpose, higher self is saying, go for this, go walk down this path, take this road. Okay, because there's always going to be so many paths, so many doors, so many different ways we can walk down our own journey, right? And our own journey will never look the same as far as the decisions that we're making. And we can put ourselves through a whole different path in life, and it could be good, bad, whatever, but it all depends on, what you're doing for yourself. Are you feeding yourself the good things? Are you facing the bad things? Are you allowing yourself to feel? Are you, going into that abyss and pulling things to the surface and saying, okay, it's time to confront you, it's time to face you, and it's time to conquer you, it's time to deal with you, it's time to make you quiet, it's time to minimize you and not make you so prominent in my life, because now I'm ready to make good decisions. I'm ready for the enlightenment. I'm ready for my purpose, my higher calling, my to evolve into my higher self, right? And so paired up with this is the high priestess, which is perfect, and it's so beautiful. Okay, because the high priestess in this card, that's power. Okay, the high priestess is sitting on her throne, and the high priestess is very knowledgeable. Okay, she knows many, many things, even things that are hidden, that are not meant for the now, but they're things that she already knows your purpose, your path, the direction you're going to take, if you take this way or if you take that way. But because it's paired with the higher purpose card, knowing what that is, being guided by and protected to make the right decisions and to have the fierce power to alchemize all the bad in you and turn it into good, she's the card behind it. She is the presence, the enlightenment, the guidance, the power. Okay, she is the one that holds the key to a lot of unlocked doors that you think you can't walk through. She's very wise. She has a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge. Okay. She is the unknown, but she sits in it and she's not afraid of the darkness or the light. She sits in the middle of both. Okay. She understands both. And she has all the things in her to see what you don't see. Okay, so the things that we question, we say, well, we can never reach, or we can't get there, or we don't have it in us. Yes, you do. And there are higher beings out there that are calling and guiding and directing you and leading you into that path. Okay, you just have to trust that they're there. They're there for your higher purpose, and get in touch with that part of yourself. Okay, to really just dive deep and go within and know that you hold all the power, just like the high priestess. You can sit in that same power. Okay, and not be afraid of the unknown, and to let your higher self guide you and put you in alignment with your path and where you're supposed to be. And even though you cannot see behind the veil, even though you cannot see what's going to come up ahead, you just got to know that whatever it is, as long as you're aligning yourself in a good way, right? Trying to follow that higher purpose, take that higher path, not living in fear, confronting and facing all your realities, whether bad, good, indifferent, it doesn't matter. Alchemizing everything in you, all the past pain, the trauma, the hurt, that there is power in you to move ahead, move forward. Okay, take all the things, all the repeated negative patterns, and you could turn them into good ones. They talk about us vibrating in a specific energy, right? And we can either vibrate at a high frequency or a low one. And if you're vibrating in a low frequency, your life, even comes to your finances, your relationships, your everything, you can vibrate and operate in a low vibration, and it's going to in turn fill you with low vibrational things. And I believe that to the fullest. And when you start pulling yourself out of that abyssal state, you can start vibrating at a higher level. Okay. And when you vibrate at a higher level, a lot of great things can come into your life. The people that you need right when you need them. Okay. That job that you really want, the finances, your bank account getting bigger, growing for yourself, however that may look for you. It doesn't mean you got to be super uber rich to be great financially, okay? It could mean just getting you out of a place where you're at now where you don't want to be in financially and pulling you out of that and getting you somewhere higher, vibrating at a higher level, okay? Relationships, pulling you away from the toxic ones, the toxic people, the things, the patterns that keep coming back around, and you keep meeting up the same thing, and it's like, why is this keep coming back around? It's because of the energy too that you're vibrating at. When you're vibrating and walking around in a low vibration, you're going to attract a lot of low vibrating. You could attract that same person, and that person can be really toxic, and that person can also affect your finances. When I found out about that, people affecting our finances, I didn't even know that was a thing. And that's kind of scary, but it did make a lot of sense for me later on. There are some people you're just not meant to be with, okay? And when the things are going on that are, already toxic and you know it, but you're still not wanting to deal with that abyssal part of it, you can keep, like, let's just say you're constantly in a rut with your finances and you're like, why? Why can I never get ahead? Why can I never have things? Why can I never get this or that? Why? But sometimes the relationship you're in and the other person that you're with can bring those things to you. Okay. They can really mess with everything in your life, right down to your finances. It is a thing. I think I've experienced that personally, and I kind of feel like I know what that is because right now I'm in a way different space and place in my life that I don't have that issue. Okay, I'm not where I'm at right now. I am not at where I once was. Okay, I pulled myself out of that. And so right here with her, she has a book in her hand. And so the word that came into my mind also right now, I seen the word teaching. Teaching. Whatever that means for you, however you resonate with that, whether you're a teacher, you want to be a teacher, or you feel like you have a lot of knowledge to teach something, maybe you know something that you have a lot of knowledge or information on. Maybe you're a good teacher at something. I don't know, whatever that is. Maybe you need to pull that higher self out of you and dive deeper into that. Study more. I'm seeing study, masters, school, college, maybe going back to school for some of you. Okay, maybe you'll find that you may have not liked school growing up, but maybe it's something that is comes across your brain from time to time and you don't know why because well, as a kid I hated it, but maybe you're not a kid anymore. People don't stay the same. Okay, they change. And so maybe you have a gift of something up ahead that you can learn through school, and that's going to take you into your higher purpose, your higher self, right? You don't even know it. Maybe the kid that didn't like school is going to be the kid that's going to leave with a master's, a bachelor's, a PhD, being an undergrad to graduate student. Who knows? Maybe you're going to be the kid that didn't like school is now the kid that has his own practice, or ended up learning something that I may not like school, but I'm going to go to school and I'm going to learn this and I really like it. It could be art, design, media. It could be it could be anything. Something that maybe you think like, I want to try this, but there's the fear, right? And get when it comes to finances, there is, if that's your life's path and purpose, there are going to be doors that swing open for you left and right. And there's going to be ways for you to accomplish and achieve things throughout your journey. If you continue to make better decisions for yourself and pull yourself up out of, you know, the darkness and more into that light, higher purpose, higher calling, higher self. There's going to be things that are going to help you out along the way. And I know with school, there's a lot of resources out there. Okay. Even with our jobs, sometimes they offer scholarships, grants. Grants, loans are always a thing too. And sometimes we double question and say, well, how am I going to be able to pay that off? Sometimes we can't think about those things in the now. We just got to do what we can, what's available to us to get it done. Because later on, what's behind the veil, the things we don't know, is that this very thing that you're trying to strive after and achieve is going to be the very thing that's going to help you to pay those loans back. It's not going to be a thing for you. Sometimes the false evidence appearing real, right? That fear, the what ifs, but I can't, no. There are ways. We got financial aid. Okay. And if you're already in a low income situation, even it doesn't matter. Whatever income situation you're in, use that to your benefit. Apply for these things. That's why they're out there. Okay. And you might just be surprised. There are a lot of gifts and blessings and doors that open up for you along your path when you're choosing the right path. Okay. When you're guided to do certain things, you'll see along the way, like, wow, it started as a thought, but then I did this and this happened and that happened and it was easy to get that and do that. And then you're going to see one day I'm actually in class, day one of learning, right? Fast forward, wow, it's already been a year and I've already learned so much. And then people you meet along the way and other opportunities. And it's never ending, the possibilities, right? And I'm seeing the circle in the middle, like right above her head, right? She's wearing this crown, and it almost reminds me of like your. I want to say for some reason, like it's like your third eye being opened, using your intuition. If you feel there's something in you, like I, I just feel it. I don't know what it is. Something's nagging at me. Something keeps pulling me in this direction. And it could even be people that are sent into your life to talk to you about something that you're interested in, or they bring it up, or they know of somebody that did something similar. And then you're like, oh wow, that's crazy because I was just thinking about that, or thinking about that for myself. Or you can see something online. Things talk to you, and so you have to be ready and open and available to allow your mind to grasp these signs. Okay, these are all signs and ways that your guardian, your higher, is trying to get in contact with you to say, hey, I'm trying to talk to you and tell you, yeah, what you're feeling, your intuition, go with it. Yes, you're right. Make that decision. Okay, so this is beautiful, this is really great, and it all ties in together, right? Pulling yourself out of that darkness and into the light and into your higher self, your greater purpose. And we all have it in us, people. We all have that high priestess. We all have that greatness to be and become something great. We never stayed the same. We can make the change and make it for the better. Okay, we don't have to be in the same toxic pattern and cycle. Okay, and it is okay to deal with the abyss, the deep parts, the darker parts of ourselves, that where we're starting to question and wonder, why do I keep going in a revolving door of the same toxic patterns and cycles in my life? When you're feeling the need, where you wake up one day maybe and just say, I'm tired and I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to be like this anymore, you know? So, however, or wherever you're at in your journey, and whatever all of this looks like for you, please take everything as you see fits and resonates for yourself. And just to make it a little bit more, let's see, fun. You know what? We're gonna make it fun. We're gonna make it fun. We're gonna make it fun. So, we're gonna make it fun because I'm gonna pull from a new Oracle deck. Well, for you, well, it's a little bit fairly new for me, but it's new for you guys because you've never seen this one. This is a Fated Love Oracle, and I know you're probably wondering, like, wait, what? But I was talking about relationships, right? I was talking about, toxic patterns and past relationships, and how some toxic relationships and people can bring you, low on your finances, when they're not just meant for you and things ain't paired up and you're not vibrating at your highest frequency. And so, you know, just relationships in general, divorce, that's a relationship. Like, just it's normal. You may not be on your path too, where you're dating again and you're going out there and you're wondering, why do I keep attracting the same toxic guy or girl? Why do I keep seeing this show up, that they have the same problems? I'm not gonna, people that I need to fix. And I don't have the energy for that. You're not nobody's fixer. Okay. So you're wondering, why can't I just get somebody that's, a step up, somebody that's out of that, people that are not over stuff, and then they bring baggage and drag past trauma into it again with your relationship, and you're like, gosh, what the heck is going on? Okay, right? So maybe some of you need to hear a Fated Love Oracle. Okay, now these are pretty fun. It's a little tiny pocket oracle. Okay, it's teeny tiny, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull. Oh, look at that. So okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull from here to see if any of you have questions, or you're in that mode of, bringing baggage from the past, and you notice it's filtering into your relationships. You notice it's affecting your dating life. For those of you that are, trying to get back on the wagon of dating and allowing yourself to open up your heart and invite love in. Okay, because I know sometimes we think we're ready to do that, and sometimes we're really not, and we don't realize until we start attracting a lot of just karmic negative toxicity from other people into our lives. And then we're meeting the same kind of person over and over again, and we're like, why? What the hell is happening? So let's see what this has to say. Thank you very much. Let's see. Go ahead and speak. Somebody needs to hear this, right? Oh. Red flag, people, red flag. You see me shuffle. Can't lie, can't make this stuff up, okay? Red flag. That just speaks volumes, because I did talk about red flag in one of my videos where I would paint it pink flag, just to say that it's not a red flag at all. It's not a red flag at all. No, it's not. No, that toxicity is not red flag. It's a pink flag. So I don't know what you're talking about. And so we put ourselves in these situations, and then we ask ourselves later when we're crying about it, why did that happen? Well, gee. Okay, so so no judgment here. I can laugh at myself for all of this, because I'm laughing at myself. Okay. So red flag. This card is a warning. Okay. Think back. Take note of the ill omens or toxic behavior you have already seen. Tread carefully. Okay. So it comes with a little mini pocket. It's like a little accordion booklet that's cute, and it's got some stuff, meanings on the front and the back, a little bit about the person who created the deck. Super cute. This is the box. It's really pretty. But anyway, yeah, red flag. Toxic patterns. Okay, so we're taking it back to that, you guys. Tread carefully, okay? It's a warning. Think back and take note of the ill omens or toxic behavior you've already seen, okay? When it comes to other people. And let's just say if you are out there trying to date, and invite somebody else into your life, and your life over time, as I've learned, is a very personal, private, intimate place. And when you're inviting somebody else into your life, you have to be careful and watch who you're inviting in. Okay? Because you're inviting them into your space. Okay? Your mind, spirit, body. Okay? For some of you, sexually wise, engaging, and in certain things. And no judgment here. I'm not saying anything bad. I've been there, done that. I get it. And there's some of you that are like, nope, not doing that. I don't do that in my relationships. That's also fine. Then I'm not talking to you. But this part that I'm talking about is inviting them in sexually wise, if you do. And then for those of you that, just invite them into your space, your home, being around your family. If you've decided, yeah, they can meet my kids, my aunt, my uncle, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my brother, my sister, whatever, whoever. Okay, that's all private, intimate, personal moments that you're allowing someone else with their energy, their toxicity, even your own, if you're not completely healed with something, but you're inviting them into your space. Okay. And when that happens, we tend to create a cord that you cannot see, but it is a spiritual one that we tie from one person, that other person, to ourselves. And that cord gets really tough to break the longer we submerge our intimate lives together with another person, whether it be, intimate as in sexual or intimate as in inviting them into your intimate personal space. Okay. It doesn't even have to be about sexual. Okay. But that cord gets a lot harder to break, that tie. Okay. And with that cord is a lot of times toxicity. If you're inviting someone else with toxic behaviors or patterns that you've noticed and seen before, and you're noticing it again, but you're telling yourself it's a pink flag, not a red flag. Maybe this will go away at some point, or maybe this person will change, or I could change them. Now, remember, we're not nobody's changers or fixers. We don't do that. Okay. That's not what we're here for. Okay. It's all about our mind, body, soul, spirit. We take care of ourselves. Okay. The whole point of our journey through this healing is so we can bring ourselves into our higher level, to call in somebody at a higher level as well that is an equal vibration, an equal match for us, not somebody, that's on a different frequency, that is not quite where we're at in life. Okay. And that's not to down anybody. That is, I was there. I was in a bad place, a low place. Okay. Spiritually, mentally, all ways, you name it. It was not good. And in order to get myself, a little bit above, I'm still not there yet. There are things I recognize about myself, as far as my heart and allowing in love and being not so closed off, and, understanding where that comes from. Okay. Past baggage. There's things that I'm still trying to heal. Okay. So, but the whole point of going through our journey is we're trying to bypass a lot of these toxic past patterns, right? Within that we can even carry ourselves. And so it causes us to keep pulling in those same things into our next relationship and our next relationship. And so that gets overwhelming. Okay. And then we're noticing the same shit in different people. The same shit, different day, right? And so that can happen. So we want to take a good look at that, heed it as a warning, and understand, okay, what's going on here. All right. So red flag, just be careful, watch your red flags. Only you guys know what they are. And so I'm looking at the time, and I know I told you that I was going to tell you about the veil of resilience and the Hierophant, because I got that at the bottom of each deck for my Oracle and my Tarot. Okay. And I told you that I wanted to go further into it and read it, but that just says it all right there. Okay. The Hierophant and the veil of resilience. Now, that's that word that I told you I absolutely love, resilience. Okay. We have resilience in all of us. Okay. Being knocked down just to get right back up. Okay. Coming from nothing into something, bringing ourselves from, the bottom of the abyss up to the top. And the Hierophant, that says it all. That's knowledge. That's a higher self, higher purpose, the all knowing. When you get to a point, like I said, your healing journey, as you're going through it, you begin to attain a lot of knowledge with that, okay? And so further along in your resilience and raising yourself up, okay, and pulling yourself out of those toxic bad places, the hierophant, that's in all of us. It's like a higher knowledge, a higher wisdom, okay? And you're going to gain all that the more that you look into taking care of yourself, self-love, okay? Also knowledge, learning more about yourself. Don't be afraid to go to the shadow aspects. Don't be afraid to go to the abyss. Don't be afraid to fight and deal with the demons, okay? Face it head on and learn in the process about yourself. It's not a bad thing. It'll help you to open your eyes and realize so much more that you didn't think was there, or that was even a thing. Okay, so we're gonna go with the Veil of Resilience is card number 3. She's a beautiful card. In the upright, it means you hold immense power beneath the surface, okay? Beneath the surface. That brings me back, right? The abyssal. You hold power, okay? You hold immense power beneath the surface. Your scars are a testament to your strength. How does your past challenges shape the way you show up in the world today? That's awesome. That just ties into the whole thing and everything I was talking about, okay? How do your past challenges shape the way you see the world today? Okay? And you can hold a lot of knowledge in the way you see the world and in the now and in the future and in your journey to come. A lot of things can change for you, and what you see now as, you're going through your journey that can be toxic, bad, or whatever. And if you keep sticking with it and pushing and working on yourself and facing everything, you can bring yourself into a higher knowledge, a higher self, where it could reshape the way you think. And maybe you don't think the same way you did about that bad thing that happened to you, divorce, or fill in the blank for you. You can change, okay? Resilience, you could change. Turn it into power for yourself and for whatever it is that you want to bring yourself to do, in your purpose or your calling or your higher self, So I hope that this helps somebody. I really hope that you enjoyed the pick-a-piles, and yeah, so I'm probably, I feel led to do a candlelight read later on tonight, and that's probably going to be about love and relationships. I don't know, I'm just saying it. That came out. Love and relationships. There it is. That's what I feel called and led to do. So I'll probably hop on here again on another live later on tonight. So whenever you catch this, thank you. I wish you all the best, all the healing, and self-care, self-love, power, resilience, strength, faith, and there is no such thing as fear. And we all have the high priestess, the hierophant. We all have the knowledge, the power. Okay? We have our angels, our guides, however you call it and see fit. We have protection when we're going through all these things, whether through the seen or the unseen. So on that note, thank you all for joining me and catching this whenever you catch it. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.